Hello students, welcome back to OrganiChemVerse YouTube channel. This is an ultimate revision video for your upcoming exam. If you want to solve this question on your own, please pause the video and find out what are the reagents required for the organic conversions. You can also find out the reaction intermediates and the final products formed in the given sequence of reactions. So let's get started. The first reaction will start from toluene, that is methyl benzene. It is converted to orthonitrotoluene. This is a nitration reaction. So we need HNO3 with H2SO4 as a catalyst. This combination is also called as nitrating mixture. So you can see that methyl is a ortho-para directing. Therefore, you are going to get both ortho and para products. But the question is, which reagent are you going to use to convert the toluene to orthonitrotoluene? There might be a para product, but that doesn't matter. In one step, how do you convert from here to here? So from the nitrating mixture by electrophilic substitution reaction. The formed orthonitrotoluene is treated with hydrogen platinum. What is this? This is a catalytic reduction. And which group will undergo reduction? The nitro group. So what will be the structure of the product 2? The NO2 will get reduced to NH2, called as orthotoluidine. You should know the common names of such molecules. So orthotoluidine is nothing but orthomethyl aniline molecule. The next reaction condition is NaNO2HCl. See, this goes without saying that the reaction is done at very lower temperature, that is 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. Whether it is mentioned or not, it is understood that this is a diazotization. So the NH2 group will undergo diazotization and it's going to form a diazonium salt. N2 plus Cl minus. What about the methyl? It will remain as it is. So what is this? This is our third product. This is treated with water in acidic condition and heating condition. That means we are boiling it with water in acidic medium means what? It will undergo substitution and we are going to get the phenol. It's being hydrolyzed, right? So we are going to get phenol. So what is product 4 here? It is orthomethyl phenol, which is also called as orthocresol. This is all additional information which you should know, because the common names can also be asked in the exam. The third molecule is further undergoing different reactions and forming different products. So you have to find out what are the reagents required. This is very simple. You might have learned this from amines chapter, wherein we cannot convert aniline directly to the given product. So what we do here, we first convert aniline to the diazonium salt and then do the different types of reactions. So how do you convert the diazonium salt to the orthobromotoluene? For this, we need the reaction condition CuBr-HBr, copper bromide with hydrogen bromide. So the diazonium salt will be replaced by the bromine. How do you get rid of this nitrogen gas and replace it with hydrogen, simple hydrogen? For this reaction, we need H3PO2. It is also called as phosphinic acid. Remember the name phosphinic acid. What is reagent E? Here we are converting the diazo to cyano, nothing but nitrile, right? So orthomethyl benzonitrile. For this we need sodium cyanide or potassium cyanide, either one of them, okay? Now let's check what is reagent F. You can see that the product here is orthofluorotoluene. So for this we need HbF4. In some question papers you can see this as HF plus BF3, but nothing but HbF4. So you have to remember that. Let's see what is the reagent A for the conversion of toluene to ethyl methyl benzene. So this is nothing but Friedel-Crafts alkylation. So we need alkyl halide. Which alkyl halide are we going to use? Ethyl chloride. Is this enough? No, we need a catalyst. What catalyst? Aluminium chloride. Therefore, this is Friedel-Crafts alkylation. The last reaction is oxidation reaction, and strong oxidizing reagent is used here, that is sodium dichromate in heating condition, right? So with acid. So since we have the benzylic hydrogen, the carbons will get completely oxidized to the carboxylic acid. So it's a dicarboxylic acid. Since they are para to each other, we call this as terephthalic acid. Terephthalic acid is an isomer of phthalic acid, which is having ortho dicarboxylic acid, right? Since it is para, we call this as terephthalic acid. One more similar question. Let's find out what are the reagents from numbered 1 to 9 for the given conversions. The first reaction is conversion of benzene to a tertiary butyl benzene. Whenever there is a alkylation, remember it's Friedel-Crafts alkylation. You have to find out what is the alkyl group here. The alkyl group could be either a tertiary butyl chloride with AlCl3. You can also use isobutyl chloride because you know that this molecule will undergo rearrangement and it's going to form a tertiary butyl carbocation which is going to substitute the hydrogen here as it is an electrophilic substitution reaction. Therefore, you can use either this or this. In fact, you can even use isobutene molecule with few drops of an acid. Either of these conditions are going to form the same product, that is tertiary butyl benzene, because all of them ultimately going to form a tertiary butyl carbocation. What is the second reaction condition? You can see that again we are doing Friedel-Crafts alkylation. This time it is very simple. There is only one possibility, methyl chloride with aluminium chloride. So the second reagent is methyl chloride with aluminium chloride, as this is also Friedel-Crafts alkylation. Now what did we do? We have replaced this hydrogen by chlorine. What is the best reagent we can use here? N-chlorosuccinamide. What is N-chlorosuccinamide? It is a chlorinating reagent where it specially replaces hydrogen on allylic or benzylic position. Therefore, here we don't have any hydrogen, right? The benzylic hydrogen. So only here it is present. Hence, it's going to form the benzyl chloride. Students, here you can use either N-chlorosuccinamide or you can use chlorine in sunlight. This is also recommended, but not chlorine with FeCl3. Otherwise, again, it might undergo substitution on the benzene ring. The side chain halogenation has to be free radical substitution. Hence, we have to use either this or this condition. Once we get this benzyl chloride, it is treated with a diester and along with something. What is this fourth reagent? So you have to observe what is the structure of the product here. You see the chlorine is gone. Okay, and where the bond formation is happening between this carbon and this carbon. So this has to go and attack here so that the chlorine will leave. How the chlorine will leave? As minus. If it is leaving as minus, this should attack as minus. To remove the proton, you need a base here. And what is the best base you can use here? We can use sodium ethoxide or sodium methoxide, doesn't matter. Either of these two bases. So here I'm going to write it as sodium ethoxide. This is the best base because it will be soluble in this organic reaction condition also. You know that 4 is a base. Let's see what product are we going to get. We are going to get a diester like this. Once we get this diester molecule, check what is the product here. Only then you will know what is the reagent for the given reaction. Now, you see there is a carboxylic acid. That means what? We have to hydrolyze this ester. But we can hydrolyze it in acidic medium as well as basic medium. But which is preferred here? Since we are doing decarboxylation, the COOET first will convert to what? COOH, like this. And look at their position with respect to this carboxylic acid. This is on the alpha position, right? So it is undergoing decarboxylation easily. So for that we need a basic medium. First hydrolyzing the ester and then decarboxylation means what? KOH, right? Heating condition. Obviously this will be aqueous. So the aqueous KOH upon heating is going to form monocarboxylic acid. For the next reaction, you can see that the number of carbons are same here, CH2, CH2, but this acid is converted to an ester. So this is esterification. And what ester do we have here? Ethyl ester. Therefore, the sixth reaction condition has to be ethanol in acidic medium. So this is esterification. Hence, we got the ethyl ester. This ethyl ester is treated with a reagent 7 to form a tertiary alcohol. How to convert ester to tertiary alcohol? So, this is very, very simple. You know, this is nothing but a Grignard reagent. You know that when you treat the ester, right? So, any ester, first with the Grignard reagent, the first mole of Grignard reagent, it will convert it to a ketone. And then what happens when you treat it with the 2 moles? It's going to form a tertiary alcohol. And you see which Grignard reagent we have to use here. Since you have methyl and methyl, it has to be CH3MgCl. Followed by what? Quenching the reaction with ammonium chloride. The seventh condition is having 2 moles of Grignard reagent, specifically MEmgCl or MEmgBr, doesn't matter, followed by quenching with ammonium chloride. Okay, so this is our seventh reaction condition. We got the tertiary alcohol and there is a cyclization. How cyclization happens? We need a carbocation over here because this is nothing but intramolecular Friedel-Crafts alkylation, isn't it? First it forms a carbocation and then at ortho position you can see that cyclization is happening. Since we have 3 carbons over here and 2 carbons over here, we are getting a 5-membered ring. So what should be the reaction condition? In order to get rid of this water, all you have to do is simple acidic medium. Use a dehydrating reagent, H+, like few drops of H2SO4. So then we get this cyclized product. Ultimately, you can see that we are introducing a ketone. And how do we do this? Friedel-Crafts acylation. If you're getting a ketone product means it's Friedel-Crafts acylation. And what is the ninth reagent here? If it is acetophenone molecule, this has to be acid chloride, ethanol chloride. What is the catalyst? AlCl3. So these are the reaction conditions which will convert our benzene to our final product. So students, make a habit of solving such questions so that you will better understand organic chemistry and this will help you to solve questions quickly in your exam. I wish you all the best. Do well in your upcoming exam.